It's time for the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Each week, Trading Stocks Made Easy demystifies stock trading and investing so you can profit big. And now, here's the host of Trading Stocks Made Easy, the wealthy investor, Tyrone Jackson.
And welcome back. It's Tyrone Jackson, the wealthy investor, and you're listening to Trading Stocks Made Easy. Pleasure to have you here. Hey, listen, we're living in a post-COVID world, hopefully, post-COVID in some kind of way, which means I'm able to talk to more of my students. And here on the line with us today is Patricia from LA. Patricia, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much, Tyrone, for inviting me. I love the podcast. I will jump through hoops for you, and I'm happy to be here.
Well, thank you. And, we were talking just before the show. You still got that post-Maui glow. We were in Maui a couple of weeks ago.
I do. I loved it. And
Really?
I had been to Maui a few times prior to going specifically for your intensive. Mm-hmm. But I find that going to Maui for the intensive at this point now just is a otherworldly experience. I like being with the community of traders, of people from all over the country and the world, kind of being in this paradise where the air is soft and warm, the water is amazing, the smell of flowers in the air, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
And then to start talking about our financial lives it takes away all of the stress around it. It's just like, wow, we have this opportunity to develop skills and learn how to trade and grow as human beings. It's really fantastic.
And I was really shocked. We had quite a bit of people there this year. I was really shocked at the interpersonal connections. People connected we had people from Singapore as well as, the big cities in the United States. And you could really sense genuine friendships being developed. Did you get that sense?
Totally.
Yeah.
I was talking to some folks from Mississippi, from Atlanta, from Miami, from where else? Orlando. It was really pretty magical because as an in-person student of yours, I know and appreciate the community of showing up at class and being so excited to see everyone. Mm-hmm. And then to go through drills with everyone. It's a real active and exciting process. So when I met the folks who take the online course, it really gave me a sense of respect for how they're on this path on their own, isolated basically
Yes.
from the larger community, and they're very, very skilled. So they're motivated. You can tell that they study and they pay attention, and their knowledge is very impressive.
And it's so funny because I started this program to make millionaires so that people can become stock market millionaires. And I was amazed at how many people are already millionaires. One guy came up to me and he goes, "Hey, I just wanted to thank you because I made $1.2 million last year trading because of you." So, I had to change the program. I had to teach in bigger terms because there were people who already had millions of dollars. So, let's move on to a higher level. So that was great. Hey, listen, let's remind people of your story. You were not born a stock market trader, right?
I wasn't, and I don't know why that is.
We're not all born stock market millionaires, but you have done so incredibly well for yourself, financially, real estate, the whole thing. Tell us what attracted you initially to the stock market. Actually, tell us a little bit about your professional background and then what attracted you to the stock market.
My background is in film production. I was born and raised in San Francisco, the child of basically Southerners who made that flight away from the South after World War II or around World War II. And so they were farmers, and they moved from Louisiana to San Francisco and for opportunities. And were, bought it and eventually bought a building that, all of my family lived in, meaning aunts, uncles, grandmother, and maybe there were some other people that rented, but not many. So the building was kind of all of my relatives in the middle of San Francisco. So it was like a little corner of Louisiana with, gumbo on one floor and crawfish etouffee on the other floor, So it was really super fun. And San Francisco is a great place to grow up because a kid can get around. You don't need your parent to drop you off anywhere. You could walk to the store. You could take a streetcar or a cable car or a bus.
Right.
And so I had a great time. Anyway, all of that led to basically education. My parents were very, very supportive of education. They felt like that was the way to go. A good job would be great. My dad was big on well, maybe you should join the Navy. And it was like, I don't think so.
Right.
but a good education basically opened my eyes to the world. And also a variety of people and types of opportunities. So I really made the most of it and grew up in a fairly disciplined environment in terms of, taking piano lessons, ice skating lessons, and performing, and, kind of disciplined in terms of show up on time, do your job, go back home, do your homework, and so on. So that all kind of led me around to the film business via college and majoring in film, which then took me on to Los Angeles because this is where I wanted to be and, play with the big boys.
Wasn't it your mother who said you must always own real estate? She was the one who guided you in terms of investing? Do I remember that correctly?
That's right. She was supportive of owning real estate. If you're going to pay rent, you might as well buy something. And also, she was big on treasury bonds. She would dress up to go to the bank to buy a treasury bond that would pay 9.5% or whatever it was. And so I learned saving and, when you earn, save some of that and put something aside and try to own something. Mm-hmm. Because it's a big deal and it kind of gets you there. What I didn't learn was how investments grow over time. Mm-hmm. Because as a kid, you don't think about time.
Right. Right.
But anyway, I wound up in Los Angeles and worked on soap operas as a stage manager. And one day got a call to work on a film, which got me going on other features. And while doing that, I met people that did television commercials. Mm-hmm. And that's where I found my success and my home in terms of the work I do. So commercials they're short, they're sweet, but they're all about perfection and attention to detail, and they're very high end. So it was great. And commercials and our clients who are advertising agencies and their clients, which would be the Fortune 500 companies, really taught me and gave me a foundation for the stock market because we would advertise all of the companies that I'm now buying stocks from. And even then I would buy, shares of something. Let's say I did an Intel commercial and, was sitting with a client and he was telling me how chips are made, and it's kind of made like puff pastry, one layer after another layer after another layer that are all imprinted with wiring, basically. And now all of that is printed, and then they get smaller and smaller and smaller. So it just afforded me exposure to various companies and industries and businesses that I would never otherwise had and the experience or been open to. Mm-hmm. I would have never thought of reading the Wall Street Journal. Just, I was kind of well, tell me the show business.
Right.
So, so it was really valuable. And when I met Darcy Parsons, who I had worked with for many, many years. She was very excited telling me about your class. And through the years, I just always remembered that. And I would ask her about the class, how it was going. And probably by the fourth year she told me about you, I said, I really want to go now. I want to be in charge of my portfolio. I want to learn. I want to try and understand this. And so that's what brought me to your class. That's what brought me to actively managing my own money. Because I knew that I didn't know,
Correct. Now, someone else was actually managing your retirement funds when you entered the Wealthy Investor Program, right?
Correct.
Why is it almost exclusively you handling that money now?
Because we never could agree. My stockbroker would always try and sell me on something that I just was not into. And I would want to, of course, buy Apple stock and Microsoft, or at the time, Nokia, or, I would just kind of watch the news and watch some financial news. And also just with commercials that we were doing, I wanted to buy the stocks behind those clients because I felt that they were innovative, they were interesting, and it was riding a wave. So I just felt like that person wasn't really reflecting or hearing me, I guess. He was kind of selling me whatever fund manager was managing a fund of stocks, or bonds. And it was just, at one point I even had, what are they called? They're like an insurance policy where you're guaranteed to get whatever money you put in.
Oh, an annuity?
An annuity.
Yes.
An annuity. And it was like the worst, just the worst. So anyway, I was frustrated by that. And I felt that if I took a class, if I had a teacher, I could learn. And that's what I do. When I go to class with you, I take notes, I study, since we use and refer to Yahoo Finance for the drills, I take a look at Yahoo Finance every day, developed a watch list of stocks that I own and I'm interested in, or just watch as indicators.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this idea of taking responsibility, which is really what this episode is all about. Taking responsibility for your money. I always say when I'm in front of the group, because our group, whether I'm teaching in New York or LA, it's 66% female, which is amazing. And I read this interesting statistic once with women that most women will outlive their male counterparts. Therefore, women have a greater need for more money because you're probably going to live longer. So you really need a financial education because you'll probably outlive your male counterpart. You have done so well in the stock market. Do you feel that you have financial security in your life as a result?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I had financial security before I came to you, but I didn't believe it. I didn't, because I really didn't have the financial education to even know how to read my statements. You know what I mean? It was just, I had a guy, I would get something every month in the mail, and I would just put it in a drawer and not even look at it. And so it wasn't until I started taking your class that I really found the bravery to open the envelope, take a look, read it, Google what it meant, and go back to it and just start to understand and educate myself, because I realized that I learned how to do new things every week in my job. So why can't I do that for myself? So I basically put that same focus on my affairs that I would put into my day-to-day work life. And that's what changed things.
And one of the things I love about your trading style is you log in every trade, both in your cash account, right, and in your retirement. I mean, you really pay attention to what trades you put on, dividends and dividend dates. That's a skill that you acquired. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I decided to make this my job, and I would do the same for my job. I would keep reports, stats, know what's happening, and so I started doing the same. And Karen was sweet enough to share her template with me, which I totally understood. And so in addition to keeping track of each account, each stock, each trade, I also write it down in a notebook, because I found for me, writing it down as well as logging online all of this information drills it. It turns the trade into a drill, because then it's just actively going over the trade several times so that I can internalize what just took place. And if I need to write a post-it as an indicator of what's coming up, what's expiring this Friday, I do that, because it's a reminder of paying attention. And it's not like it's overwhelming in the least, but I find that the discipline of drilling that information in makes it second nature. And I also find that very often, if I'm a little bit scattered or have too many phone calls in a day, I can't see what's in my account. I can't see the potential trade. So on weekends, I like to take a look when things are super quiet, to just assess and find those potential trades that are there that I couldn't see during the week.
Right, because as a producer here in Hollywood, your days get really busy and they can be very long, right?
They can, yes.
Yeah. So you need to be in a particular headspace to be able to keep track of the trades that you're doing in the accounts that you're trading in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
I got to get to a commercial break here, but I want to mention I did something this year in Maui I had never done before. I had a panel. So instead of me just teaching all the time, I brought up you and a couple of other people, and you talked about your experience in front of the audience and all of that. And someone said, how do you handle when a trade goes bad and you lose money? And they directed that question towards you. And you said, first of all, I practice yoga. And second of all, it's an acquired taste, and it takes patience to know that you can make that money back. Do you remember giving that response?
I do. In fact, I had the same problem this week of potentially losing money.
Yeah.
And I kind of put it out to the universe and said, I'm ready to let this trade go and figure out how to make it up on a future trade. But by opening up the conversation with friends, I got a response that triggered another answer. And I found a way out of the conundrum I was in.
Correct. Very nice. Now, Patricia, hang on. Today we're talking about taking responsibility for your money and your financial life. And we're talking to Patricia from Los Angeles, and we're going to continue this conversation right after this commercial break.
Want to increase your stock market trading profits? Then you need to start your monthly membership to WITradeschool.com right now. Don't understand how to write covered calls for monthly income? No problem. Simply review Tyrone's latest stock trades in our video library as many times as you need. WITradeschool.com is all about helping you get the financial education you need to earn money in the stock market and change your financial life. Tyrone Jackson, the wealthy investor, has helped his students earn thousands of dollars per month trading stocks online from home. These are people just like you. So what are you waiting for? Follow Tyrone Jackson's red-hot stock trades and investment strategies today. Don't wait. Start your monthly membership at WITradeschool.com right now.
And welcome back. And if you haven't downloaded the free ebook on stock market trading at thewealthyinvestor.net, now would be the time, and I look forward to working with you and guiding you through the market. Today, we're talking about taking responsibility for your money, and in this next section, I want to talk to Patricia about the idea of support. Because, Patricia, you're great at surrounding yourself with people who support you in your trades, right?
Yes, absolutely. I love my community. I I share trades. I wouldn't say every week. It started out that way, but now I'm pretty good on my own. But every so often, I will reach out, or someone reaches out to me, and we discuss a trade if we're both holding, let's say, the same stock, and have a certain strike date, and we can discuss whether we should buy it back or not. And that support is amazing, because just by virtue of talking it out, you may see the answer, and someone's response may guide you toward that answer. And it's basically discovery for both parties. They're learning something, I'm learning something, because we're sharing our fears and our successes and our potential pitfalls and problems ahead. I keep something on my desk which really helps to keep me grounded. Mm-hmm. And it's something that a producer that I've worked with for many years always used to say. It's keep it simple, don't get ahead of yourself, stay out of your own way. Mm. And I find that those things, that little mantra keeps me focused. If I'm trying to overwork something and get really fancy with a trade, I take a breath and say, keep it simple. How can I do this without all of the shenanigans? Mm-hmm. So, and don't get ahead of yourself and stay out of your own way. Those are just things that, if I'm not feeling confident about, let's say, setting up calls on maybe 1,000 shares, mm-hmm. Well, okay, try 500. No harm in that, whatever it is.
Right.
Just, find bite-sized, do it in baby steps, bite-sized pieces, because it's really a matter of what you're used to, what you can, basically what you can stomach, because we can't predict the future. Mm-hmm. We can't predict the stock market. What I love about your style of instruction is that it's non-directional. Mm-hmm. And that gives me a safety net. We have the tools. All we have to do is remember what's in that toolkit.
Absolutely. Now, I'm going to run through a series of trades because I really want you serve as inspiration for a lot of people, right? So I'm going to name some trades. And this is the cool thing about you. You don't do every trade. You have you have your regulars and you rely on them. All right. Covered calls, like or love?
Love.
Perfect.
Love.
Okay. Collecting dividends, like or love?
My boyfriend.
Yeah, there you go. Dividends are your boyfriend. They just keep showing up.
Yes. That's right.
In or out of the money leaps in bull markets?
In the money leap.
Okay. Why do you like in the money leaps?
In the money leaps. Because, well, I've been through bull markets, and bull markets have dips, mm-hmm. and they can go down. I like I like a conservative trade. I like having that intrinsic value, because it's just, I don't have money to gamble with.
Right.
So that's why I like it.
30-day bear call spreads. Love or like?
Love.
Really?
I also love 2-week bear call spreads.
Well, okay, wait a minute now.
30-day.
Yes,
okay.
We just went over that. Was a little advanced. It was a little advanced.
Mm-hmm. But 30-day, I mostly sell 30-day covered calls.
Okay.
Because I don't like to, I like trading, but I don't like it as busy work.
Okay.
So I look for what seems like and I like the idea of being able to wash, rinse, repeat.
Yes.
30-day trades is a no-brainer.
Very nice.
That's for a reason.
Okay. When everybody comes to the program, they love volatility trades. $1, $2 upticks. Where are you with that now?
I don't volatility trade at all.
Okay.
At all. It just, I just, because if I have free and clear shares mm-hmm. on the side, I'd rather either keep them for a future covered call, keep them available to cover as additional shares for a bear call spread. I really don't volatility trade.
Okay, that's fair. Hey, listen, somebody is out there listening and they go, well, this woman sounds like a nice person. How do I really know this is for me? Should I really take that step forward? What would you tell that person?
Yes, take the step forward. Figure it out later, but just do it, because you've got to start somewhere. And regardless of how much you have in the bank or you don't have, or whatever those issues are, that's the other thing. Start taking class, learning about trading, and working on yourself so that you can get out of your own way. Because stock trading will pull up every anxiety, every issue, every little bit of insecurity. And you need to have a clear head, and you need to have a clear state of mind that you're able to do it and can focus and will do the work. Because even though it seems like all of the steps are quite simple, the underlying fundamentals behind them are complex. Derivative math is complex. Mm-hmm. Options are complex. So you have to just start, and you've got to study. And when I find that, you don't do the study, then you're a little bit adrift. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to be adrift with your own money.
Very good. Well, we will take that today. Hey, listen, it's always great to have you in class. You became famous in Maui. You discovered after you were on the panel, people were like, hello. You like, no autographs today, please, when you came back the next day. But you really are, in your way, you really are an inspirational figure, not only to women in the class, but also anybody who's thinking about handling their own money and taking responsibility for their financial life. So I thank you for being on the show today.
Well, and I thank you, Tyrone, for being willing to teach and do the work that you do. It's really a gift to the universe. I really appreciate it. It's made such a huge difference in my life in so many ways. It really has crystallized, my future, and I can just see potential everywhere around me. It's made an enormous difference, and I so appreciate you, and I appreciate the Wealthy Investor community.
Well, thank you. Well, that'll do it. I'll be right back with some final words right after you take a listen to this.
Want to increase your stock market trading profits? Then you need to start your monthly membership to WITradeschool.com right now. Don't understand how to write covered calls for monthly income? No problem. Simply review Tyrone's latest stock trades in our video library as many times as you need. WITradeschool.com is all about helping you get the financial education you need to earn money in the stock market and change your financial life. Tyrone Jackson, the Wealthy Investor, has helped his students earn thousands of dollars per month trading stocks online from home. These are people just like you. So what are you waiting for? Follow Tyrone Jackson's red-hot stock trades and investment strategies today. Don't wait. Start your monthly membership at WITradeschool.com right now.
So if you're earning a living, do you want to earn a living for the rest of your life? What if you lost your job? What if you, unfortunately, lost your spouse or partner? Would you be able to step in and take responsibility for your financial life like our guest Patricia is today? She's very comfortable, she's very smart, and she's very successful because she's willing to take financial responsibility for her life and create mountains and mountains of wealth and residual income. And guess what? You can do the same. Hey, listen, get on our email list at thewealthyinvestor.net. When we have something we call a Bring a Friend, come on in. See what it is that we actually do in our live classes, or join us online if you can't make it in New York and LA. Start your membership today right now at WITradeschool.com. Start getting that financial education and let me guide you through the stock market. Instead of you giving your money to someone else, learn how to successfully manage it on your own. That's what this program is all about. Thank you for making it to the end of this show. If this show has helped you, pass it on social media to someone who you think might enjoy taking financial responsibility, and most importantly, getting a financial education. I'm Tyrone Jackson, the Wealthy Investor, saying I'll see you right here next time on the next Trading Stocks Made Easy.
You've been listening to the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Be sure to rate and review our show on iTunes. While you're on iTunes, be sure to click the subscribe button and you'll automatically receive our next episode.